Hello, this is Jake and welcome back to an update on HMHS Britannic in 1/144 scale. So to build Britannic, I'm using the Billings Boats Titanic 510 kit, which you will saw me doing an unboxing of. It's a really nice kit, everything's going together really well. There's one or two problems I got to sort out, but nothing too serious. But like I said, the kit's coming together really nicely. I have had a lot of people ask me, especially on Facebook actually, when I put pictures up, where can I get one, where can I find one of these kits and that. And unfortunately they are actually really hard to find, especially in the UK. It took me a couple of months of searching, and for the right price as well, because some of their prices, they dropped in like sales and everything, they dropped it down a little bit in price, but trying to find one in the UK was actually really difficult. But anyway, let's show you some of the progress on the model and what's to come in future updates. So let's start at the bow of Britannic. So these parts have been fitted, as you can see, this piece in here as well. Now everything you see here is not stuck down. Reason for that is I still got to paint these pieces white. It's going to be easier to paint these before sticking them down, so that's why I've not stuck it down. Once they are painted, I can then obviously stick it down and everything. I've also done the cargo hatches. Now, there's no holes, they just simply, there's two slots, you stick them in, the pieces of wood, laser cut wood, and then glue it together like so. That's actually the last thing I've done on the model last week. And like I said, this piece here is not stuck neither, so we can still gain access in here. Now there's going to be absolutely no electronics whatsoever down the bow section. We can see down here right at the very front of the ship, right at the bow, this piece has been stuck in here now, and then this has all got to be sanded of course, and we can start planking and everything. There's also strips that go across here with the detail with the portholes and everything, so that'll get done. But like I said, there'll be no electronics really down here, apart from maybe, I don't know, there's not really any windows in here, so I don't know if I'll put some lights in. But there'll be lights on this section and now. These pieces on top here, again, not stuck. These are just placed, just making sure everything fits before I go to stick in everything. So we're just sorting that out at the moment. Again, I've got to paint the parts before I stick it. This is actually a part of the lift off section where you get into the ship to do your work and that before you launch it. So this will all just lift out in one giant piece, and then obviously we'll build the decks on top of here anyway. Now if I was to remove this one, you can see these two across here. Now they will, once they're all stuck to these pieces, you just lift that off and that shouldn't be a problem, and they just slot down. So that needs to be glued to them, which I will do very soon. That's probably going to be one of the next things I look at doing. In here, obviously this is where our electronics are going to be. It's a good time to talk about the smoke generator. I haven't bought one yet, but of course you got four chimneys, obviously 3 of them are going to be steaming, so I'm going to have a smoke generator fitted somewhere near the middle of the ship, just for balance and everything. And then there'd be pipes going around to where the chimneys are, the funnels, which is 1 here, 2, 3, and then obviously the 4th at the back, which doesn't really matter. And there will also be a sound system inside for the whistle, which I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm not a fan of having sound on models, but I do want that for this model. So there'll be a sound system for that. There's not really any other sound that could be added. The systems I've seen, you can add different sounds now, like sea effects, birds and everything like that. Here are the motors. Now, I told you guys in one of the last updates that I will not be using the center propeller. And we'll get onto that in a second, because there's been a few questions about how am I going to steer it and everything if I don't have a center propeller. I'll explain in a second. So we got 2 Poison motors. Now these are just like normal Tomorrow motors that come with your RC car or trucks. I've had the RC trucks obviously in the past, and I've always replaced them with these Poison motors for realistic speeds. Now this is not a speedboat, this is Britannic. It's not going to be going 100 miles per hour. So these two poison motors should be plenty of power to let it move along across the water at a good realistic speed. The main thing of having a model like this on the water is, it's got to look good. It's got to be traveling at good speed, realistic speed. I don't want it to go flat out as fast as I can across a lake. So these two poison motors will be perfect for that. They've been tested, they are working. These were both brand new from Amazon shopping. And you can see I've also fitted, if I can just grab this piece. So these go on the end of the motors. I don't know if I'll get that one on. No, there we go. So that goes on the motor, then you got your universal joint, and then this one goes on the prop. Now, like I said, these are actually too big to go in that hole right there. Basically, they just won't fit. You can see they're as big as the joint, so yeah, that's not going to work. So unfortunately, I won't be using these on the Britannic, but they will go in storage because I'll be building a new boat very soon, and I can use that for that one. So yeah, we got to sort that out. So basically that O-war, I should have test fitted and drilled it a bit bigger before fitting this piece of ribbon in. But never mind, that's fine. We'll get that sorted. And then you got the shaft here, which goes across to the stern. And also, one thing to note, if I just remove this piece here, you can see that the wiring up here, these clips, these actually, again, from a Tamiya kit I had for one of my trucks for tidying up the wiring for the lights in the chassis and everything. So there they are. Works really well with this. They've not been glued on. They got sticky backs. You just peel it off and stick them, and they haven't moved. Like I said, I haven't messed with it for a week, and they're still on there. So that is a extension wire for the servo that's at the stern of the ship. We'll have a look at the servo in a second. The one I got in at the moment is a little bit too big. So the weight at the stern, where most of the electronics are going to be, that's why I wanted to put the smoke generator more center in the ship, which does make sense because making it balance and everything. Right, let's talk about the stern and the propeller and how we're going to steer it. So, sorry for the shaky camera. I'm doing this off tripod just to show you. It's easier to get here. So this is our rudder, and this will turn with the servo, which you see there. That's our servo. It is a bit big. I'm going to get one of the slimmer ones to go in there. But that's our servo, and then the wire's just going to traipse down and over like that. There you go. So what we're going to do, this prop will not be moving at any time in the model's life. Only these two, one that side and one the other side. There you go. And what we're going to do, I've seen people do it before. It's one of the things I was doing with Gale the Gator. We're going to have two motors linked to two ESCs, and then there's going to be I can't think of the name of it. Me and Mike was talking about it the other day, but this wire basically lets you control the model like a tank. So basically we'll control it like a tank. So if we look at our sticks, this one would be one motor and this one would be the other motor. Then when you want to turn, you just use this one and leave this one alone. Or you could pull this one down, push this one up, and you turn it like that, and it should turn on the spot. Now, obviously, this is not a tank. Tank would only be half the size, meaning the tracks move on one side and not the other. That's how tanks move. Because this is a ship and it's very long, it will mean that it does take a bit longer to turn around. But at the same time, it will turn. It's the most effective way to turn something this size, because obviously this propeller will not be working. Now, I could do all the work and put an extra motor in and all that stuff, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that with this model. If I was to do another, I would look at doing it, but it's not something I want to do. It's a lot of work, a lot of stuff to do when you could just simply turn it like that. Now, the rudder will help with the turning to a certain extent, and we'll test all this out obviously on its first test and voyage and everything, but using the propellers like you would with a tank, turning one side to the other side, it will turn the model around quite easy. And again, I've seen it used on bigger models, bigger ships like this, and it does work. I've also got to sort out this. So this is the access to the servo, but with the Britannic stern being different, this is going to be covered up by another deck. So I got to find a way of removing that with the kind of the top deck on top of that. So that's one of the other things I got to figure out. Now with the other propeller in, these got to be sanded when we plank. So these will all be sanded to match that. And again, there's the wire for the servo, but that servo will be changed. And then we got the connection to the extension there. And like I showed you, it goes all the way down to there. And then this piece will lift out. I've also put these pieces on as well before I forget, which go along the ship. I've moved this one just to show you. But we still have the kind of the kink in the hull. Still need to try and sort that out. I think we're getting somewhat closer. It's here roughly. So we need to get that sorted out as well, ready for the next video. But there he is. So there's the stern. You need a dog. And again, on this giant piece of scaffold board, which makes it easier to move the model if we need to take it outside for painting and that, which we will be doing a lot of. Again, I got to paint these in here, and obviously, like I said, the deck's going on top of here, so it'll be different anyway. The modified stern, poop deck, whatever you want to call it. And then these two, like I said, these don't get stuck, so these will be lifted out as well. Also, I've put this one in like I just showed you. These will all need to be greased up, obviously, before they go in. And then we'll get the universal joint sorted, linking up to both of them, because when this one's fully in, which will be there we go. So we'll get that universal joint done for the propellers, and then once these are linked up, I can look at obviously doing some wiring and that, but I can look at start planking the actual model as well. So there we have it. That is an update on HMHS Britannic. Like I said, there's a load of work still to do. I'm gonna probably get all the electric sorted out, the ESCs and that, get that all done so we can actually test things. Now I haven't actually picked out a radio transmitter for it yet, but it will be something with a few channel options because of the I think now having the sound effects as well as the smoke, because that will be linked up. Because you can get different smoke generation. You get ones where you just top it up and it smoke on its own, but I might look at getting something that can be connected to the electric so I can control that smoke. That'd be quite nice. And like I said, maneuvering the boat, the ship, maneuvering it around using the system like a tank. It worked really well for Gator. Eventually it did, she did conk out, and I'm doing some work on that, and I won't actually be using the tank system for Gator this summer. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. But yeah, you know, it should work fine for this. It'll help it turn and everything. I've seen it before. It works really well, especially on big models. I've seen it work on a much bigger model than Britannic here, so that should be fine. So again, this is a 1144 scale Britannic, and hopefully next update we might have just started the actual planking. I don't think I'll start the top deck until we've finished the planking. I think that's going to be our main goal. Sanding it down, getting it perfect and smooth is vital. Also getting the kink out of the actual keel, which I believe is like a millimeter out at the moment, so it's not too bad, and we can get that sorted. It's just finding that, even though we've had nice days, like I said, I haven't had the model outside because I've been out enjoying the weather, making the most of it, and trying to sort the cars out, which has been an absolute pain I'm not even going to go into. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Sorry there's not too much progress done since the last update, but there will be for the next update, because like I said, I gotta get the electric sorted out as well and everything. And I'm gonna look at some light systems, how to wire. I got loads of LEDs around, so that ain't a problem. Obviously the top deck will have to have a plug because of maneuvering it over, getting access to the actual electrics to turn it on and that. So we're gonna have to have a power switch in that as well. As for battery, I'm not too sure what I'm gonna use for a battery yet, because the battery's obviously quite a bit of weight as well. So when we do some testing, I'm probably going to build some kind of a jig or a bit of a port in the garden to test it out, which I've seen done many times and it works really well. So when we're testing that, that's when we do the weight test and everything. Make sure at least 90%, 95% of the weight's on the actual model, to sort that out. Make sure we got the smoke generator and all the electronics, because that's the weight. I'm chattering on. Please remember to like and subscribe. There'll be plenty of content coming on this one very soon. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff go through. Please like and subscribe. I will see you all soon with another update and update on other projects. And yeah, thanks for watching, and bye until next time.